What's up, everybody? It's a new episode of Nobody Asked Us with Des and Kara, live from Tokyo, presented by Brooks, and a lot of help from Ketone IQ, which we totally appreciated because we're both burning it at both ends. This is going to be a quick one, but Des, how are you doing this morning?
Good. I'm okay. I'm hanging in. I do need a ketone so bad. I'm using a handheld mic, so I can't reach over and grab it and open it because it's sealed. But I'm gonna have that immediately once we're done here. Got up, ran, and yeah, now I feel like I've had a whole day, and it's like at the end, but it's just getting started. So,
I know you have
how
a
about
lot of work
you?
stuff today.
How are you doing?
I slept for 7 hours last night, which is the most I've slept since I've been here. So I am still massively sleep deprived, but I'm trying to be like, oh, I'm turning a corner.
I'm getting
It's tough
adjusted.
because the meet wraps at 10:30, and then we may or may not have some highlights to do. It's super close walk back, but I get back at like 11:15, and I'm like on a high, but then I want to get up and exercise before it's 100 degrees outside, and I need to set aside time to study, or like we have a live Brooks event. So it's just, it is what it is. It's part of the job, but I'm definitely sleep deprived.
I think people don't realize if you're here for a work type thing, it is work, you know?
Yes. Yep.
And it looks really fun and like you see content and all the things like rolling out, or obviously the races, the calls, and they're spectacular, but it's just a grind.
Yeah. Like my workday officially starts 4 hours before we go on air. So we go on air at 7 tonight. So it officially starts at 3. That's the first meeting. But I still need 2 hours or so of prep as well. So it is super fun, but it's a grind. And I'm just thankful that I'm just like a distance analyst and not play by play,
Play by
because
play.
then I would die.
Yeah. You would not be doing a podcast or any other
Nope.
obligations if you were play by play. But you did, you stepped into the 800s last night. That was a big deal. You've been toying with it. So obviously Sonya's not there.
Yeah.
How was that?
I was really nervous, to be honest. I felt when I was here for the Olympics. Like, I don't really know how I got this job, but there were 7 rounds. So by the third one, I finally felt like I was in the swing of it. And Otto and Paul are just so good at like setting me up and like leading it. So I'm really excited about it. It's just different because there's just so many rounds and so many people I don't know. I know the heavy hitters, but I don't, like in the 5,000,
Right.
I know most of the players from the countries, whether they're going to medal or not. And same with the 15. With the 800, I have no idea. So it's just been a
Right.
different ball game, but it was actually really fun. The first couple rounds I was nervous, and then after that, like they just keep going and going and going. So you just get over it.
It's so quick too, right? And like
Yeah, it's so
I
quick. Yeah.
can maybe put a hit on this person or talk about that person, but mostly I can just lean into tactics and
Yeah.
like that's probably good enough for that time frame.
Totally. And we'll
Is
we'll get into the 800s later
Yeah.
because that was just the first round of the men, and they still have a semi before the final, but we did lose one American in the first round. Cooper Luchtenhaus went out, and he was so hard on himself after in the interview with Lewis
Oh.
Johnson, and Otto was like, I love it. He's going to be a killer. And I was like, I'm so glad his parents are here. He needs a hug. Like, he's 16. It's such a new experience. He looked uncomfortable, like just trying to like
Yeah.
fight for positioning. And then he did so much running out in lane 3. And I just
Yeah.
feel like that's all the stuff you learn when you get into these races and you do them over and over again. And it was just such a big stage. And yeah, afterwards he was just so hard on himself, and I was like, "Dude, you're 16."
Like, do
Like,
you know where you are? Do you know what
yeah.
you did this year? Like, this is, I know it's not what you wanted, but you have seasoned pros who make the world team, and it takes them a few times at Worlds to get through the rounds, figure that out,
Yes.
figure out the aggressiveness of it, figure out how the tactics are different. Yeah, it takes a while, and to have that first experience be at that age that's gonna do a lot for him. That's gonna
Yeah.
teach him a lot for the future.
He's like so polite. He's like talking to Lewis, and he's like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." I'm like, "Oh my god, I love this kid. He's like such a good
Yeah.
kid." So, other than that, there weren't really any other surprises, and like I said, we can get into that later for sure.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of 800 action down the road. Let's go back a little bit to some of the finals, some of the medal races that have happened. Do you want to start with the men's 3,000 meter steeplechase? I know that's your favorite,
My favorite race to call.
absolute favorite of all time.
It's not my favorite. It's my least favorite. I've never run a steeple, so it's the one race I truly don't know that I call. But I've gotten to know the players over the years. But I think we talked about it. We previewed it a little bit, and I just felt like Beamish had a shot at a medal. I don't know that I would have predicted him to win, but I was like, he's healthy. He's only 2 months healthy. He had a stress reaction in June.
Mhm.
He didn't start running on land until 2 months ago. But sometimes you just need to be undercooked rather than overcooked. You know what I mean? So the race, it kind of played out, El Bakali straight to the back. That's his
Mhm.
MO.
Standard.
Board,
Yep.
yawn. I'm going straight to the back. Germa went back with him. And then I don't know, did you feel like it was reminiscent of Paris when Dan Mahalski went to the front with 2 laps to go?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just so packed up and it gets unpredictable and shaky, and if you're newer and this is your first final, you're just like, where can I go that's like safe? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just need to see what the barriers, I need to have my space and see that line. Um, but yeah, I think seeing the American man up front being like, okay, like this is where I feel like I belong. I'm just going to do my thing. Like that's becoming normal, which is great.
Yeah. It was interesting. I felt like Germa and El Bakali reacted quicker than they did when Kenneth Rooks did it. So I think when Kenneth Rooks did it, they were like, whatever.
Who's this?
And
Yeah.
then a lap went by and they were like, oh, he's not coming back to us. Like they were panicked in that final lap last year. And I think that played into Germa's fall, actually, just like a little bit of like flailing to try to catch Rooks. So I did notice right away that as soon as Mahalski got like a step on the field, El Bakali like moved out and started to move up probably earlier than he wanted. But he was like, I don't know, an American shocked me last
Right.
year.
Is this the same guy?
Yeah, he's like, I don't,
I don't really
he
know.
probably has no idea.
This guy again.
This freaking guy. But so he went out and he really likes to come through at the bell and start to move up, but he
Mhm.
went for it earlier than that to close that gap, and so did Germa. And I noticed like with a lap to go, I remember pointing out Beamish because the thing about Beamish is, and maybe this will convince him to put himself in it a little bit more. It's almost like he gives himself an out by being really far out of it.
Yeah.
And then he starts to kick, but a lot of times it's too late. Like in Budapest, it was too late. He wound up fifth. And at the bell, I pointed him out, but I remember thinking, I think he gave it away. I think I
Yeah.
think he's going to be second or third, but he gave it away. And then Mahalski down the backstretch on the final turn was like getting past and just not stopping though. Just like
Yeah.
clocking arms with everybody. Just
Barreling
like,
through.
yeah, he's just like, I'm doing this till I'm dead. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which I love that stuff. And then I think Germa led over the final water jump.
Okay.
And then I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Al Bakali went by him, and it seemed like Al Bakali had it, except for Beamish just starts coming, 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 coming,
Laser
coming.
on
It's not
his
like Al
back.
Bakali
Yeah.
wasn't in full flight.
Right.
It's just
Right.
crazy how Beamish can pop off the track.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the thing, like, El Bakali was super hard on himself afterwards, like, immediately, and you kinda look at it, it's like, "Well, what would you have done different?"
Right,
I mean, you move earlier, like, do you start your press earlier instead of waiting for the American man to do it? I mean,
right,
but you're right, he was full flight, he was sprinting, sending it. Beamish just has an incredible kick, and I feel like it's one of those things that you don't even see him there on the straight and he's still on the bend, it feels like,
right,
but you can't count him out because you've seen it too many times. If you're a coffee club listener, it's textbook George, right? Like
right.
that's just what it is, and that's exactly how it went down. Did
I
it
think that
surprise you at all? Like, I mean, you said you saw him, but actually
it didn't
winning the
surprise
goal,
me because I said I think he can win, and like after he won, like my producer's like, you have a crystal ball this year, although I didn't call the Cole Hocker thing. But I guess I was more just like impressed of how much room he gives, how much
yeah.
space he gives up, but that he is not afraid to win it in the last 5 meters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon because there's a little bit of like lack of self-belief in the middle
Mhm.
where you're like, "Oh, I took my shot, now I'm just gonna, fight hard." But then, like, in the last 150, he's like, "No, I'm pure grit, heart, I'm gonna give this everything. I'm really just the guy who doesn't give up." But,
Right.
like, did you kind of give up a little bit
Right.
just before? Like, maybe we can balance this out some.
Right.
But yeah, he's such a fighter in that kick, and obviously has the leg speed to give him hope. So it's always like mesmerizing what he pulls out, because you're like, that was pure grit. And you're like, no, he's actually, it's that speed has been there. It shouldn't be surprising, but he leaves it
He
for
leaves it
so
so
late.
late. It's like he's a two-time world champion now because he
Yeah.
won the indoor 1500 in 2024 in the same fashion, going by Cole Hocker in the final few steps. And it's like, I think now he's elevated, because some people were like, well, that was a fluke or this or that, whatever you want to say. This wasn't a fluke. And so now he needs, I don't know. It's like, does he change now and race a little bit more aggressively? I don't think he needs to lead. But Albacale has had, that was textbook the way he runs he was going for his 5th global championship in a row.
Right.
And if Beamish is in the race now, he's going to have to race differently
Yeah.
because he was the guy with the finish that no one could match. And now you have someone better. So
And he made it.
I do think
Yeah.
he's going to have to take it with like 600 out and put enough distance that Beamish can't make it up.
I have a question for you, because this is an observation that I like think I believe, but I haven't watched Steeple close enough. And you're obviously the Steeple expert, as you've
Expert.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think, is Beamish a good steepler, or is he very good between the barriers? You know what I mean? Like, is he just that much better over? I mean, he's indoor 1500-meter champion. Like, you're a great runner. Who else could do that? There's a handful of people, but like, is he quality over the barriers, or is that where Albacale is just going to be superior and he has to use that now?
I think Albacale is excellent over the barriers and has years and years of experience of being able to
Yeah.
change legs if he has to. I know that Beamish in 2023, when he decided to switch to the steeplechase, their team brought out Pascal Daubert. He worked with him. So it's not like he's just flying by the seat of his pants on it. But I think this event, I don't know enough because he ran in Budapest and got 5th, but then leading up to Paris, he was injured. He didn't make it out of the rounds in Paris. This year, he ran one steeple, got his qualifier, and then got injured. So it's like tough to know, I
Yeah.
mean, he was like, I think he had run the 5,000 before previously at World Championships. And maybe that's an event where he just gives too much time. But maybe in the steeple, with the combination of the barriers and his speed, he can still get it done. He's such an interesting athlete
Yeah.
because it feels like he could be really good at a lot of different things. I mean, he's the world indoor champion in the 1500 and now in the steeplechase. So do you
Maybe
think
he
he
can connect
becomes
with
the steeple
Trey.
guy now?
um, yeah, I mean, I think he has to, and I guess that's the thing, is I still think that he's so new at the event. Like, he seems pretty green still. Like you just said, he's missing a lot of years where it's like, I'm not healthy. I can't touch it. And maybe that is the thing that prevents him from being the steeple guy. But it seems like there's so much to clean up and improve with the barriers and, managing the traffic and not slipping back in that little section. And then you start to ask, well, how fast can he go?
Right.
Which is an interesting question, and it's so open. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Could he be the greatest? I don't know.
Right. I hope that he and his team go home thinking, wow, this was like not a great buildup. I had a femoral stress reaction in June. I couldn't run on land until 2 months ago. He came in saying like, I'm undercooked, and yet he won and made it look, I mean, I know it was a very tight margin of victory, but it made it look pretty effortless that he got that title. So maybe one of his, he does have this history of being injured, and I'm hoping like his team will say, you know what? He doesn't need to necessarily,
So
all
talented.
athletes are different. He doesn't
Yeah.
need all the work that other athletes do. He just needs to consistently stay healthy, and that's going to be enough.
Right. Or like, hey, this cross training got you really fit.
Right.
Let's supplement with a lot of this. Let's throw you
Yeah,
on a lever.
that's right. Put him on a lever.
Little
I'm sure they have
unsponsored
one.
shout out.
Well, it was super cool to see. It was awesome. And I was, it's funny in these races, I have no idea what happened after it ends because I'm like moving on to the next thing and I'm just focused on who's winning. But
Mhm.
am I wrong? But did Gurma end up third? I feel like he did.
That's a great
Oh
question.
my God. Or no, Serum did from Kenya. The 17-year-old did. So
Oh,
that could potentially
there you
be a
go.
big
That's
challenger moving
interesting.
forward. He's only 17 years old. He's still just learning the event too. But Serum, like he has been talking about restoring, because Kenya won every global steeple championship since 1980 until El Bakali ended it in 21. And
Yeah.
so Serum has talked about, he's only 17, but how he would like to restore the glory. So I thought he had a great race as a 17-year-old, had his first big global championship like that. And Mahalski for his first ever world team. Man, it
Yeah.
was cool to see him. He talked about after the first round how he was like standing on the starting line with the world record holder and the Olympic champion. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, here we are.
Go get him.
Yeah. So it's cool to see him like go for it and not waste the opportunity, like you never know when
Right.
you're going to get those opportunities. He can hold his head high that he left everything out there.
World Championship finalist, add it to the resume. It's a nice step forward.
Yeah, leading late too. It's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's
All
move
right.
on.
Okay.
There was a disqualification heard around the world. When did you hear that Cole Hocker was DQ'd from the men's 15?
Um, I got a text. I was asleep. I was asleep
Yeah.
during them. I've been watching a lot of stuff on replay. But I got a text and it was like, certainly they're gonna DQ him, right? And I was like, oh shit, I need to start watching things right now. But yeah, I don't know. It was in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
What'd you
So
think when you saw it? When you were seeing the race, what's your feelings? Go
right
ahead.
away I was like, that's not good. And
It's too
my
much.
producer hit me up and was like, if you think that could be a DQ, like say it. I said, I'm sure there'll be a protest, like the straight on angle didn't look that bad, but when you saw the angle from the side, you can see his arm come out and hook back. And
Okay.
I got really nervous for him. And so we talked about it on air. And then actually I felt so bad because then he went to Lewis Johnson and Lewis hears what we say. And then Lewis is like, hey, tell us about that move. And then he tells him about the move and he's like, are you worried you might be disqualified? And you see his face just like fall. And he was like, no. And he's like, I am now, basically. And we knew immediately that there had been a protest filed. And, we went back and watched it a couple times and he just had himself in bad position. And I think so many times for Cole Hocker, the inside is just opened up and he's super
Right.
calm. And during the broadcast, like we re-showed it again last night. He ran such a clean race until the bell. He was in the lead. He was controlling it. He was in the lead and they were off his shoulder back. So he had time to react if someone was coming.
Space, yeah.
And then right before the bell, he got past, which happens, but immediately he was swarmed. And there were 2 heats that night. And the first one had the last 3 world champions in it. Niels Laros in it, who's the favorite to win or one of the big favorites to win. Josh Kerr, Chariot, Whiteman. It seemed like the second semifinal was
Mhm.
like, and I even said this, was like, the danger of being
This
in
is
this semifinal
flood
is that you
through,
might
right.
get too comfortable, you know? And so, I'm sure looking back, he wishes that on the backstretch, he just would have slowed down and let them go and move out and around.
Give
But I
himself the
think
room to go around,
because
yeah.
it always seems to open up for him, he didn't panic. And then with like 70 meters to go, he panicked because all of a sudden he has nowhere to
It
go.
wasn't
There's
there.
3 guys to his right. There's 3 guys in front of him and there's people coming up on the outside. And it's like, I'm going to get 7th here. And so I don't think there was any malicious intent. I don't think he was like
Yeah.
trying to impede, but I think he saw a little bit of space and he thought, well, if I push a little, I can get through that space. But unfortunately, that's not how the rules work.
So what yeah, I mean, I guess was it jostling
Yeah,
or
it was
what's the
officially
actual rule?
jostling. That's the actual rule, which
I
I thought was
mean,
funny because we're always like, oh, they're jostling for position, at the beginning of the race, but
right.
that's the actual rule is jostling.
That's funny. I haven't seen the side view with the hook, but the front view, I was like, this is just racing. I've seen much more egregious rule breaking. Like I feel like someone like Legat his whole career was defined by how he was a magician and like he could make space and get his way through, and like that looked like something pretty fair game.
Yeah.
But I need to see the other view.
Yeah.
Now there is the like you need to have a full stride length to pass, which obviously was not there. But I think
Or
Neil Gurley
like what
made the
happened.
final. and he was right next to him. You know what I mean? Like that. If he
Right.
had just held his spot, like it might have been there anyway.
Well, I went back and watched it a bunch of times, and in the end, like an athlete came up, but a couple athletes faded, and including the athlete he impeded was fading.
Sure.
And if he had just held right there, I think he would have ended up fifth or sixth, and it would have been fine. I understand why he did it. So,
Yeah.
like when it opens up, you're allowed to go through, but it hadn't really opened up. It
It's
was
not
just
there
two
yet.
men running side by side with a little bit of light that he could see. And I think back to Paris, where if you go back and watch Paris from the aerial view, when they're coming down the home stretch, he goes
Right.
to move
On that
out.
bend.
He goes to move out because it's Ingebrigtsen and Kerr, and Kerr's going by, and he goes to move outside of Kerr, and then all of a sudden they start to drift, and he literally goes from stepping to go around them the outside. He just shifts all of his momentum to the inside. But that's because it completely opened up, and that's one of
Right.
his gifts, is that all of a sudden he was like, whoa, 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 that's opening up. But that's not what happened here, right? It was just like a little daylight between two athletes. And I just feel so bummed for him because I don't think he did it with any malicious. I mean, when he talked to Lewis, it had not crossed his mind that he had impeded anyone. Like you could just see his face fall, and it was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, wait, what? And we didn't say this on the NBC broadcast because I couldn't confirm it, but I was talking to some of the European journalists when I was leaving, and they said that the German, um, was it Farkin? He
Sparking.
was
Yeah.
interviewed and he said, I was fading anyway. He actually didn't impede my race. So, like, that part of it, you're just like, oh, you
Yeah.
know? Um, but yeah, it's just a
It's
huge bummer.
it'll be interesting to see how it impacts how he races in the future. Because that's the
Yes.
thing too. Like, okay, this has worked for him for so long, and there was a little bit of panic and desperation, but also everyone stayed on their feet.
Right.
Like the rules are just this championships feels like they're kind of wishy washy. Like, is this a violation or not? I mean, the Perez Jeptichir taking bottles from people outside of the aid station, that's a blatant violation. But
Right.
she won, so like it's sort of wishy washy in how they're being implemented. So
It
I
is
can,
interesting looking back. Like, I remember Paul Chelimo, was it at Rio where he got the medal and then he was told he was DQ'd? And
yeah,
then they reinstated it, and that was way more contact than we just saw with Cole
yeah,
Hocker. Um, when I look at it objectively, and I'm not like a super Cole Hocker fan, which I am, and I think if that was a different athlete pushing Cole Hocker back, I think, oh no, that's a violation. It's not a hardcore nasty one, but it is technically a violation. But yeah, it bummed me out, man. I was bummed out by it.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
wonder for him, just what you said, one of his gifts has been not panicking,
Mm-hmm.
just being like, it'll come, it'll come, it'll come. I know I have that amazing last 30, 50 in me. It'll come. And now I wonder if he'll feel like he has to force things more earlier on.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll find out next year.
Well, he gets revenge to her hopefully in
That's
the
right.
5,000, right? So
Yep.
we'll talk about that more as we get closer. But if they dink around like they did in the 10,000, that'd be great for Cole Hocker.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's got to be a little pissed off and hungry. So
Yeah.
that'll be fun to see. Like as you said, revenge tour immediately. I'm thinking already towards next year, 1500. But yeah, he's got a chance really soon. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm his coach, I'm saying the 1500's done. Don't even
Yeah.
watch the
I don't
final.
even think about
You're
that.
a 5,000-meter guy now. Let's shift all of this to that. So, anyway, okay. There was another final last night.
Kind of a big
It's
one.
kind of a big one. I did text Chris. It's so predictable that it's kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
it is until it isn't. Like one time,
right,
Faith will lose her step and we'll be
right,
like, holy shit.
right.
She's at the point where she's not in a level of her own. But right now,
Right. I mean, listen, I was reading all these stats at the top of the show. She's won 7 of the last 8 global titles. For the men, it's all been a new 1500-meter champion every single time, right? She's been won 7 of the 8, and if you go back to 9, she was silver medal. She's won 7 of the last 9, and the 2 she didn't win, she was silver medalist. So we're talking about a decade since 2015 that she's been second or first in 7, silver in 2 of global titles. And it's just incredible. And what I find so fascinating about how she races is that like MEC's always like, when is the move going to be? And I'm like, that's the thing about Faith. There is no clear
You can
move.
see it.
It's just
Yeah.
like her body. I mean, when we saw her chase the world record this summer, she made a liar out of me because her body language very much so changed. But last night was classic Faith Kipyegon. There's 3 athletes right on her butt with 250 to go.
Yeah.
And you're like, could this be the year? Could this be the year? And she doesn't shift and nothing changes in her form. And all of a sudden, within 70 meters, she has a gap. It's just
Yeah.
like she just grinds it, and it's so small in the way that her body changes that you can't even visually see it. But all of a sudden, the athletes behind her are like, just start dying. Not dying,
Right.
but you know what I mean? Like, they're like, they can't do it anymore. It's
Right.
crazy.
It's like putting the lobster in the boiling water. And you like
Yeah.
slowly turn it
Yeah.
up and you slowly turn it up and you're not going to like, when did they die? Like, well,
Right.
we started it back then, but you're
Right.
seeing it. And she's like, nah, I'm good. I'm the one turning the heat up.
At 150 to go, there's still 4 women in that race.
Yeah.
With 100 to go, it's over. In 50
Right.
meters, all the damage was done, and the race
Yeah.
became for silver. It was just crazy, and like she looked the same. Like,
Right.
she
Like,
looked the
wait,
same
what
the
did
whole
she just
time.
do there? But it's been this
Yeah,
wind up that's like been slowly like beating them down. Yeah.
yeah.
It's unreal.
It's like just so impressive, and talk about someone who doesn't panic. She goes straight to the front. Everybody in the field, their entire race strategy is stick with Faith as long as possible. That's
Yeah.
everyone's strategy. You saw her every time she'd come down the home stretch or the back stretch. She's looking up at the jumbotron. She's counting how many people are left, and she's just so calm, cool, and collected. Like I
Right.
just, I just think it's so interesting, and no one can be on top forever. And she's got to be in her 30s now. I don't even know. I should know that, but it's no one can beat her at that game. She is the queen of that game. So someone's gonna have to
Mhm.
take it, I think, and try to
Yeah.
take the sting out of her if anyone's ever gonna beat her while she's at the top of her game like she is right now. Because the strategy of I'm gonna hang on her, out kick her, not gonna happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the last 800 was like too flat or something. It was pretty close to. I mean, that's crazy. Who's going to do that?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, you're going to be faster than her? Okay, then you need to run close to what she tried to do for the sub 4 attempt, and she's
Right.
smart enough to not go with that on the front end. She's like, no,
Right.
see you later. But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what you're thinking about if you're one of her competitors. I guess you just wait and go like, okay, well, when aging hits or when she's having a
Right.
off year or coming back from an injury, then I can beat her, but
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
hers
this
to
isn't like
lose.
a slam on Jess Hull because Jess Hull has been brave enough to go with her the last 2 years, but we were saying like we try to predict how the races will unfold. And of course we have no idea. And like talking about the men's 15 tomorrow, I literally have no idea how that's going to go. With 0 front runners, Nagoose is out, Chariot doesn't race the way he used to, Ingebrigtsen is, I'm like, I feel like I'm relearning the event. But
Yeah.
for the women's 15, it's like Faith is going to control it. Jess Hall, though, is going to go with her for as long as possible. And I said, Chip
Mhm.
Churcher's been having a really good year. And Iwoi is also having a good year. And then it'll be
Yeah.
strung out from there. And I think Hiltz will try to maintain contact as long as possible and try to reel
Yeah.
in a medal in the kick. And so it's crazy because they know it. I know it. I'm not even the one running it. We know
Right.
what's going to happen. But you can't, like, she hasn't lost a step in that game. So it's like,
Right.
what do you do? I mean, I guess the next world championship is in 2 years. She'll be 2 years older, but you got to think back and think if you wanted to defeat her at her prime. Remember, Safan Hassan is the last one to beat her at the world championships, and Safan
Mhm.
just took it from the front and just ran like a
Right.
maniac.
You have to be fitter than her, which is a crazy
Yes,
ask. Like,
right.
this is an honest race. It's just gonna be who has the fastest, like, the pure speed and the stamina to maintain it for 1,500 meters. That's all this
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
There's not really
I was thinking
tactics
too
involved in
how
that.
last year at Paris, the 5,000 was first.
Mm.
And the final of the 5,000, she got a kick by Chibet. And then she had to
Yeah.
get up the next morning. The first round of the 1,500 was the next morning. And I was thinking how we all think Chibet is just going to dominate that. But I was thinking last night, like, she has a day to recover now before the first round of the 5. And she doesn't have to worry about being tired for her premier event. Like, I wonder if there was a little. I'm not taking anything away from Jabet. She's running her 14 minutes, so like,
She's
give
okay.
me a break. Yeah, she's fine. Um, but but Faith is the defending champion in the 5,000 as well, and I wonder if she'll be a little bit more aggressive because there's no,
Right.
her baby's the 1,500, and that's done. She did it. She
It's
got
taken
it
care
done.
of.
So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. I think that I don't know. I could see the flip the script
yeah,
for
it's pretty
sure.
cool. Like Beatrice Jabet's at the track last night crying for her. Like they love each other so
Yeah.
much, and then they have to go head to head in this event. But the
Yeah, I mean,
support. Go ahead.
Kenya 3 of the top 4, I feel like that's hasn't been happened in a while. Maybe I'm wrong, but,
It's been a
um,
while.
yeah, that was kind of like, "Oh, okay."
A
I guess you have
resurgence
this
for sure.
great leader, a really great leadership, and that's where the bar is set, so, you see some young athletes just being like, "Okay, we're up next or pretty soon here," and
Yeah.
they kinda made a statement last night
During the final
or last
Laura Muir, BBC sits right next to me, and they had Laura Muir up there probably to chat about it or have a thought afterwards or something. And I thought, wow, it's weird not seeing Laura Muir in that final, right? She's
Yeah,
finished between seventh and second since 2015 or something crazy like that. So it was
yeah,
weird not having her in that final. But like that's a long time.
right. That's,
It's
like,
okay to
good
have either
legacy
a
stuff,
bad
yeah.
year or, get older. But I think Laura Muir really, I think yes, Faith Kipyegon has taken the event to new heights, but Laura Muir was the Jess Hull for a while, who wasn't
Yeah,
afraid to try to run with Faith and wasn't afraid to try to run times that other people thought were impossible to run. So I was a little sad to not see her in there. And then it just made me feel like I don't feel like she ever really got her flowers, like she really helped the rest of the group of women believe that the gap could be closed.
yeah.
So anyway, just a
I
random thought.
no, I agree with that, and that's a cool nod to her. She had a great career, is having a great career, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was like there was a little piece of something missing, like, that you kinda felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. Wow. Well, it's a tight show, we all have stuff to do.
Yes.
Is there anything else you wanna add? What are you looking forward to? And
Well, tonight the last two races in the meet are the women's steeple. All three American women got through, which I'm super excited about. They're all first timers at this level,
yeah,
so
that's
they're going to
crazy.
be learning so much. But you never know. Also with first timers, like you never know, right? Like and that one of the favorites is the NCAA champion, who two of them had to race all year. So I'm excited to see the American women in that. And then the night ends with the men's 15, which I am super excited about, but also I just cannot predict it whatsoever. I have
Yeah.
no prediction for you.
Is there any lack of satisfaction in this final? Like, do you feel like because of some of the players are out that you're just like, "Oh, this isn't the matchup I wanna see." Are you excited about new players and who might kind of have their day and just the new tactics that are gonna show up?
I'm excited about the new tactics. I think it's been the thing about the men's 15 is that the way it was going to unfold has been super predictable since 2019. 2019, you knew Chariot was going to take it. 21, you knew Chariot was going to take it. And then the last 3 years, you knew Ingebrigtsen was going to take it. And we knew it was going to be super fast. And that was super exciting, right? This might be a slower race than we've seen in a while. And so we have to get over the fact that they may not run super fast, but I also think it's championship racing. So I'm excited that I truly cannot predict. I do feel like if Kerr has done enough damage with 200 to go, he's going to be hard to beat. But I do think that if Laros, I don't care who's leading, if Laros still has his
Okay.
nose in it with 150 to go, he's probably going to get it. But it's just like, who's going to be brave enough to try to break everybody? Like someone's going to go in there tonight and say, I'm going to catch everyone off guard at some point. Maybe it's at 700, maybe it's at 500 to go. Someone's going to is planned it out and said, there's no Nagoose, there's no Ingebrigtsen, Chariot doesn't race the way he used to. I'm going to catch everybody off guard. I cannot predict who that will be. And I'm excited to see who it is. And maybe someone will take it from the gun. I don't
Right.
know. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting to not know. Again, we never knew who was going to win, but we knew what was going to happen for basically
Right.
1,300 meters.
How it's gonna set up. Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I I agree with all of that. I think it's gonna be exciting. I think it's gonna be different for the most part, but I predict and I see Josh Kerr, much like you did at Prefontaine last year,
Mhm.
taking it
A
from
long drive out.
600, 400 and one, yeah, like a long push. He looks
I
fit.
agree with you. I think that might be his best bet.
Yeah. I think
I know
the
that
problem with
his
the other
last 200.
guys, yeah, go
Yeah, I
ahead.
think his last 200 is really, really good, but Laros seems to have 100 that no one else can match. And so I feel like he has to have done enough damage that Laros, it's too much distance for Laros to overcome in that final 100. But yeah, so I think you could be right. I could see that happening with 600. He does a long drive out. But if someone decides to take it early, then I think he tucks in
Changes
and he
everything.
waits, and at like
Yeah.
200, 250 to go, he goes for it. But that's
Yeah.
what's so fun, right? It's like
Yeah.
we don't know.
Right. It's
Yeah.
just gonna be completely different, and we haven't had that in a while, so
Yeah,
that'll be a thriller.
it will. All right, Des. Thanks for
All
meeting
right.
up.
Yeah, thanks for making this happen, and, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.